Very much on topic as we head into summer. I think we're all trying to get our summer bodies ready. But as I recently found out at one of our very special partner vets, our dogs might also need to lose a few pounds. Obesity in dogs is way more common than we think, and the stats are going to alarm you. Take a listen. Welcome back, pet lovers. It's time to bark out a few hard truths. So the vast majority, around 95% of pet owners believe that their dogs are in perfect health. The hard truth is that 54%, that's over half of all dogs, are actually obese. We are clearly missing a trick, which is why I've come back to the vet to chat to Dr. Adele Rolwink-Koets about why this is the case and, most importantly, what we can do about it. Come on. Doctor, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. A little bit alarmed. Along with that, I couldn't believe the stats that were unearthed. Why is this? What is going on? Is it something at play here, a genetic thing? Are we just overfeeding? Do we love our dogs too much? What's going on?
In a small amount, there is a health issue, thyroid issues and so on, but the majority of the time it is that we feed too much or we treat too much, so they think they're giving the right amount, but then they get 10 snacks through the day, and we're just not as active. So people aren't walking their dogs as often as they should, everyone kind of sits at home, and so your dogs are getting more overweight.
So what is then the rule of thumb? How do we know that our dogs are drifting into that overweight territory and becoming obese?
So the best way is actually to look and feel your dog. We like to look at fat over the ribs. So if you run your hands over, you must just feel ribs, not dig through fat layers to find ribs. They should have a nice little waist. So when you look from the top, ribs to waist should be a nice little dip. And when you look from the side, the tummy should tuck up, not go straight or down. But that's the best way to gauge your weight of your dog. It's specific for your dog, and then you can use that to measure if you're doing well, if you're getting better, or if they're starting to put on too much weight.
I suppose it stands to reason that just like with us, when you are carrying extra weight, or especially if you're obese, it's going to affect your lifestyle. What are those repercussions for our dogs?
It makes everything more difficult. So any dogs that are prone to having hip issues or joint problems, same with people, if you carry more weight, it puts more strain. Fat actually causes inflammation in dogs, and that worsens any arthritis that they might already have, which makes them more painful. They have more breathing issues because it's a lot harder to breathe when you're weighed down by so much fat. And then obviously they are more prone to things like diabetes, which is a very serious disease.
Why then do vets recommend a veterinary diet when combating obesity and not just kind of lowering the amount of food that you're feeding your dog?
If you cut down the amount that they're eating, you run the risk of causing malnourishment because you're also cutting down your vitamins, your minerals, your proteins, not just the energy intake. So the best is to use a diet that's formulated to have everything that they need, protein, nutrients and all of that, but low calories. The dogs also feel more full because they're still getting the same amount of food, potentially, so they're not always begging for more food or intensely hungry, but there's a lower calorie intake, so they assist with weight loss.
Satiated for longer. So this is all good and well, but you haven't met my Dachshund, and you haven't seen his face as he is asking you for another treat. And I think this is part of the problem. We love our dogs. We are all susceptible to the guilt trip. When entering into a new diet, how do we handle that transition, and what do we do if they are begging, acting like they've never been fed before in their lives?
A gradual change is important. So if you are reducing the quantity of food, don't go from a whole bowl to half a bowl. They'll get very upset with you. If you gradually decrease over some weeks, they get more used to it and you get less begging. But begging is a learned behavior. It's not a hunger response. So dogs learn that if they beg, they get treats, and that's nice. It's not that they need the treat. So we also have to be a little bit more strict with ourselves But you do get snacks that are healthier. So you get low-calorie snacks. Some people like using a bit of veggies. Popcorn can be used, and it's nice. They crunch on it and they're happy, but it's got very low calories.
This has been an eye-opener. Hopefully this has shocked a lot of people into acting on this now that we know we really have to do something about it. Thank you so much. I'm now going to go home and try not to treat my Dachshund as much as he deserves it. The take-home here, guys, the dogs are not the problem. We are. So please, if you see that your dog is becoming overweight, not obese, but starting in that journey, go and connect with your vet. They are our partners for our pets' health, and ensure that you've got a plan in place to help work around their weight management. And of course, you get the right nutrition that's going to give them the nutrients that they need and satiate them for longer. As I always say, you've got to get your pet to the vet. And if your pet is due for a visit to the vet, you might just be in luck. If you spend more than R1,000 on Royal Canin products, you stand the chance of winning one of 6 R5,000 product vouchers and put yourself in the running to win a grand prize valued at R10,000. Pretty amazing. For all the info, scan the QR code that is on screen right now, then cross all of those lucky fingers and paws, and good luck.